Well, greetings to everybody. We're getting ready to finish our legislative session on June 3rd. And I'm sure the times that we're all facing are unique to everyone and challenging. One area that I've been focused on, working for a few years on, is mental health. And that area, prior to this event, was an issue. I think it's significantly more of an issue going further on this process. We're going to be dealing with, our students in the K-12 setting, our post-secondary students, and then families, just some of the struggles that they've gone through. One of the areas that I'm thankful that occurred was that the governor and some insurance companies have allowed telehealth to be continued as a service. I've talked to several providers that they have multiple clients, and this is really a way for them to provide services, giving people access to those services. So I think it's critical. One area that, as we start in session on Wednesday, if you have questions or concerns, please reach out to me or any one of us here, and we can begin to address those issues. So thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again, and just want to reach out and say that, it's been a couple long weeks for all of us. I know there's been a lot going on, from the things we're struggling with COVID-19 to what Bob spoke about with mental illness, to some of the things that we've seen. I know we're going back into this week with heavy hearts and our minds occupied in other places, but I think it's important that we do prioritize getting the work done so that we can move on to the second phase of this thing, which is rebuilding our communities and making sure that they are more prosperous and equitable than they ever have been before. So that's really where I think a lot of our focus lies, is making sure that we represent you and make sure we bring your voices back to the Capitol. In spite of some of the other things going on, our focus is ensuring that we improve our community. So I thank you guys for tuning in, and please feel free to reach out to us as we partake in this week at the Capitol.
Hi, everybody. So I can't wait to see people in person instead of Zoom, but do know that you can reach out to us anytime. As you all know, I worked the COVID clinic during this time off, and will continue to help them when I'm home. Our numbers are kind of plateauing a little bit here in Black Hawk County, and that's a good thing. But we do need to continue to be safe and social distance and wear a mask. That is one of the frustrating things as we go down to the Capitol. We do know that not everybody is on board with that. To echo what Bob talked about with mental health, one of my biggest concerns, because I sit on Child Mental Health Board, is the funding mechanism. I am very much afraid that we are not going to put money where our mouth is to really for these programs that really need to expand. And the other thing that we need to look at with the HHS budget, because we did our caucus met this week, is to look at some of the funding for personal care providers, hospitals, and private providers within the medical community that have taken a huge hit during this time. So we have a lot of work to do. My biggest fear is that we're not going to accomplish near what we need to. And then just to end quick, I have Ways and Means at 4 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. I just talked to our leader in Ways and Means, and we are going full force with a lot of amendments to try to continue to push our food bank bill and to look at some positive things for our community. We don't know what they're bringing. The communication's not been great, but we know what we're bringing to the table. And so we will be fighting for Iowans and for our community. So please reach out if you have something specific, because we'd love to hear it.
Hello, everybody. It's time for us to get back together again, but we don't know how long it's going to be before we can do that. So we'll continue to reach out to you this way. We are going back to the Capitol on Wednesday. We will be socially distanced, which means limited staff. But please reach out to us anyway if you have any questions or comments, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. One thing I've been following as we go through here is we're interested in continuing to support healthcare, mental health, we just talked about, as well as healthcare in general, Medicaid. And also, one thing that's really important to me is supporting higher education, because it is such an economic engine for the entire state, not to mention here in the Cedar Valley. So there was a revenue estimating conference this week, which looks at the expected revenues, primarily from income tax and sales tax. And the good news is that the projection for fiscal 20, which ends here at the end of July, is only slightly down. And so I'm optimistic that I hope we can maintain our expenditures that are occurring through July. And then also the forecast for revenues for fiscal 21, which starts in July, are down about 4.4% compared to previous estimates versus the previous estimate, which was up 1.8%. So that's a swing of about 6%, a little over 6%. However, we do have a positive ending balance with the budget, not to mention somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 million in rainy day money. Now, we wouldn't want to spend all of that, but I think that you can expect us to be standing our ground and asking for support with mental health, healthcare, and education to keep the ball rolling. So that's the way we see how it'll play out. As Rep. Brown Powers says, we don't know what they're bringing, but we will be there to be your voice from the Cedar Valley. So stay in touch, and we'll give you an update again when we get another chance. Take care.